So I've got a simple job I need to do. Got to get up the mast and just tape up the spotlight there, because I just want to keep the water out from where the lines are. So just to make a quick video of how I'm going to get up, the method that I usually use, away from all the flapping, see if it's a little bit less noisy. So here I have about a 5mm line, 5 or 6 mil, I think it's a 5mm line. And there's just a fisherman's knot there, and basically what I use is a climbing technique that the rock climbers use, called Prusik, and I'm gonna show you how I use that. But actually, I have something. I use the Prusik system to actually as a spare, as a backup line, and I use these things here. Which I got from a climbing shop, which perform the same kind of thing as a Prusik system, but only for, well, they're a little bit more tricky coming down, but I have a different technique for coming down. Going up, ascending, these things are great. They've got little teeth in them and they grip the line. I'll show you how to do that. But before I do that, I'm going to show you that when I clip onto the carabiner on a loop like this, you can just have it through the carabiner, but I found on one particular occasion that to be extremely unsafe, and that was because I was stupid enough to leave this unlocked. What actually happened, and I'll probably have just to put my hat on here so that I can show you with 2 hands. What actually happened was that, you know, with this being able to move around the carabiner, I found myself at the top of my mast, and I looked down and did not have a safety line on, and that was holding me on my harness. Imagine that was basically like, it was like that. That was holding my weight. Of course, if it had gone like that, then that would have been the end of me. Luckily I saw it at the right time, and I obviously wrapped my legs and arms, everything I could around the mast, and then secured the line properly. But what I use now to stop that from happening is this very simple method here. Again, I got it from YouTube. So you tie that around the carabiner, and then one more thing, pull this out, and I forgot the name of this knot. You twist that around, take it over the back, pull that down, make a cross, and tighten that up, and then that stops that from moving and sliding around the carabiner. So that is much better. Now, Prusik system, very, very simple. This is, as I say, this is a backup line. I actually have bought a climbing line, a climbing rope, which I've hoisted up the mast. And I do that because the spring in this line and the bounce in it just makes it that much easier and much more comfortable coming down. Halyard obviously can be used, no problem. In fact, if I was going to climb up, what I would do, and you can use this Prusik system to climb up, just 2 of these, you can take this through on itself like this. That's twice. Sometimes use three or 4 times. This is just 3 times as an example. You basically tidy that up so it's neat like that, and that will slide up and down the fixed halyard here. It should be tight, nice and tight for climbing. You have one for your harness, and then you have another one for your foot, and you basically step up. Whilst you stepped up, you slide this up, and then you sit down, take the next one without any tension on it. It slides up, it grips the line under tension. So that's what I used to use, 2 of those lines, and you can still use it if you don't have any special climbing equipment. Obviously you need a harness and the carabiners, and then it's just a step set method. Now what I do is I still use this as a backup, It's a safety line, not a backup. Take that through 4 times. 4 times just a little bit more difficult to tidy up a bit. There we go. Okay. So that's my backup line. If I fall, it will come down, grip the line, and save me from instant death. Right, so clips on to my harness there. I've got my very few tools that I need for this job. Right, now as I was saying earlier, I use a slightly different method now. Here again I've got the same kind of setup, but instead of using a Prusik, I have these devices which are fantastic. I don't know what it's called. Here we go. Tiblock, there you go. Tiblock. Got these teeth. It's going to only go one way. Stick it in there, clip it on, tighten this up. Make sure I tighten that one up as well. And that goes up nicely and doesn't come down. Up, doesn't come down without using 2 hands. And instead now of using a line for the foot, I bought a strap which is much better. Again, from a climbing shop, it grips the foot, doesn't come, makes it so that the foot doesn't come out of the strap, which is great. And same kind of a thing. The foot is below the waist, so same thing on the lines. The foot strap goes below the harness line. And now I'm all set up. I've got my safety line on a loose line which I'm going to abseil down on, or rappel down on. And this is my climbing system set up, so make sure everything's locked off. Okay, all good. And here we go. So slide that up, slide my foot up. It's comfortable in my shoe. And here I go. Slide that up, sit, slide. Make sure I bring the safety line up with me. Because there's no purchase on this, it's actually quite a fast way to get up the mast. I know some systems that you use have got a bit of purchase, and it just means that, you know, every time you step up 1 foot, you're only moving up half a foot. And I've tried a mast climber and stuff like that, but those things are okay. But this is the method that I've settled on, and I find it efficient. Obviously, like any of these things, it takes a bit of practice, a bit of getting used to, but need to be comfortable, trust the equipment, but always have a backup. And I have, whenever I do this, always think about people who climb up masts on their own whilst under sail in big trips, big waves, big seas, and I have always got the utmost respect for those guys. Amazing. Well, that didn't take long. Basically all I want to do is, you can see that rainwater will get into there, and that's where my wires are. Although I've taped them off, some self-amalgamating tape, I just want to minimize the risk of water getting into the connections. So right, so now I need to remove the safety line. I need to clip that onto the fixed halyard, because one way I can get down is just to climb down, but climbing down on this kind of system, it's the same amount of effort as climbing up. Now, although I'm only halfway up, it probably wouldn't take long to get down, but just for the sake of me, as I'm recording this video, I'll show you an easier way to get down. So again, a few times round on a Crew 6 system. Okay, that is my backup. That's my safety line. Put that on there. It's another point of failure, different point of failure. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is take this line here, again another carabiner, and show you a underhitch. So one underhand loop, another underhand loop, exactly the same. Fold them together. Take the carabiner, stick it in the loops, and let it sort itself out. That is a munter hitch, which is used for rappelling down lines. It has enough, it has just the right amount of friction in there, and it's always important to make sure that this line is against this part of the carabiner, not this part, because it could actually undo the lock. And that is going to allow me then just to feed the line through here with one hand and go down on this line safely, he says. But as I say, always have a backup and a safety, and that's what I've got here on a different line, a different connection point on my still connected to two lines here. I've got this line here which I'm going to rappel down, and I've got my backup line here which I want nice and loose, but if I do fall, it's going to grip that line quickly. Okay, so all I need to do now is get down. To do that, ease this out, don't let go of the line at any point, and that's the one I want to be holding. Okay, and then I basically just ease that down. And that is sweet as. It is so much easier to come down this way than to come down and climb down the mast. So from the top of the mast all the way down basically is less than a minute, and you can see me bouncing on this climbing line. The stretch makes it very, very comfortable, and that's it. All done. And that's how I get up and down my mast.